Hi everyone, this is Annie, and today I'm going to cover the CSU General Education Breath. Okay, this General Education Breath is for students who want to apply for the California State Universities, so also known as Cal State or CSU. Okay, if you are considering applying for the CSU and the University of California, also known as the UC, please do not use this general education pattern. Please use the I get C pattern. Okay, this is only for students who just want to apply for the Cal States, and those are the only types of schools they want to apply to. They are not thinking about the UC at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into the details of this general education pattern. You must have a minimum of 39 CSU transferable semester units. Okay, we are only on semester units, so you don't have to worry about any conversion, but you pretty much need 39 semester units. You must complete the Golden Four to transfer. The Golden Four is the most important courses, and you have to pass them with a C minus or better. What are the Golden Fours? The Golden Fours is oral communication, written communication, critical thinking, and math. Okay, in the general education pattern, it looks this right here. It's the oral communication, written communication, critical thinking, and the math. And if you notice that it says minimum grade of C minus or better, I want to just emphasize how important these four classes are. You must pass those four classes with a C minus or better to transfer. If you do not, even if you have a 4.0 and you have everything else, you met all other requirements, and if you don't have one of these classes, you will automatically be denied. So it's not a questionable thing. It's you have to finish it and you have to pass it with the C minus or better. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that you try to finish them as soon as possible because you can just get it over with. And the admissions rep, when they look at your application, they like to see if you have finished these four classes. Okay. Now, for this general education pattern, you can have D grades. So they do accept D grades, except for the Golden Four, as you know, because you have to pass it with the C minus or better. But otherwise, all the other categories, D grade is acceptable. Okay. Um, in the last section of this general education pattern, it states here that there is a CSU graduation requirement, okay? I just want to go over this and kind of let you know this is not part of the GE pattern. You do not have to do this to finish this general education pattern. You also don't have to do this to transfer. It is not required to transfer. This is just a graduation requirement that all the Cal States have. What they require you to have is one class in US history and one class in US government and one class in California government. However, if you take it here at Pierce, our like political science class covers US government and California government. So one class will meet both categories. I just wanted to share that with you. The other thing I wanted to mention is these classes right here, you could double count it with one of these categories. So let me give you an example. Chicano 7, okay? You could use it for US 1, and you also could use it for the humanities. So there it counts for two categories, okay? So that could count for two categories, and you can knock off two birds with one stone, as you could say, okay? So I just wanted to emphasize that. Also, too, that if a class meets multiple categories, so for instance, English 102, it meets it here in critical thinking. It also meets it in humanities. You cannot double count it, okay? The only time you could double count is if it's a CSU graduation requirement and one of these categories, okay? You cannot count a class where it meets two letter grade categories. I just wanted to emphasize that because a lot of times students think, oh, I did critical thinking here and I could count it for humanities. No, no, no. It can only count for one category. So you either choose critical thinking or you choose the humanities. Okay. So now that I kind of just went over the overview of it, let's go ahead and go into the details and how do you read this general education breath. Okay. So the first area, area A, is English language communications and critical thinking. Okay. In this category, there is one oral communication. So you have to have one class. So out of these four, you get to pick one class to meet this oral communication requirement. You also have to have A2 written communication. So you need one class that could fit in this category. And guess what? It's English 101. So pretty much you have to take English 101 to meet this category, okay? Then the next one is called A3, critical thinking, okay? So really for area A, you have to have one in oral communication, one in written communication, and one in critical thinking. In total, you have to have 9 semester units. Oops, sorry, right here. Oh, right there. There it is. 9 semester units, okay? One course from each area. All right. Let's go into area B, scientific inquiry and quantitative reasoning. That is area B. You have to have 9 semester units, at least one course from the physical science. Oh, this is area B1, physical science. One course from the life science. So that's one course right here, and one course in math quantitative reasoning. So that's one course right here, okay? So pretty much you have to have one physical, one life science, and one math. And then at least one of the science courses must contain a lab component that corresponds with the lecture used. What that means is that either your physical science or your life science, one of those classes, you have to take it with a lab, okay? And it has to correspond with these classes. So let me give you an example. You could take astronomy 1. That's your physical science, okay? So you choose to do astronomy 1. And then say you want to do anthropology 101 for the life science, okay? Um, then you have to do a lab. So the lab isn't just any lab you get to pick in here. It has to correspond with the physical science or the life science. So what that means is that you will either have to take astronomy's lab, or you could take anthropology's lab. Pretty much that's how you're going to meet the lab requirement. You see how it has to be a lab of a science course you have previously taken. Okay, awesome, awesome. And then math, college level math, as you know, minimum grade of C minus or better, golden 4, super important, okay? Let's go into area C. This is the arts and humanities, and let's go ahead and read the little details of it. You have to have 9 semester units, okay? At least one course has to be from the C1, so that's art. So one course has to be from here, and one course from C2, so that's the humanities. One course has to be from here. Perfect. And then it looks like here you have to have one additional course from C1 or C2. So what that means is you have to have one class in the arts, okay? That's why this is over on this side. One class for the humanities, and that's why it's on this side. And then you still need one more, so total of 3 classes in either the arts or the humanities. So you could pick, for the last one, you could pick another arts or you could pick another humanities. So in the end, students could either have 2 arts class and a humanities, or 2 humanities class and an art class. And that kind of gives students the option of which subject they prefer more for the last requirement, okay? Area D, this is the social sciences, okay? 9 semester units. It has to be Coursework must be taught from more than one disciplinary perspective, okay? So what that means is you have to take one course from at least 2 different disciplines. What they mean by disciplines is 2 different subjects. So you can't have all of your classes in one subject. So you can't have everything in sociology, okay? No, no, no. You can't have all 3 classes in there. 2 could be in there, and then the last subject has to be another subject in here. So 3 classes from at least 2 different subjects, okay? Area E is lifelong learning, and this is where you have to have 3 semester units, okay? And it could be anything in here. However, it can't be all 1 unit of PE, like all 1 unit PE classes. So 3 PE classes. You cannot do that. It has to be more than just PE classes. So I'm going to let you know you're in my Counseling 40 class. Guess what? Counseling 40 counts right here, and it meets this category, okay? Counting 40 is right here. So all of you, if you pass my class, you are going to meet the CSU General Education Breadth Area E. Okay. Once again, this is the CSU graduation requirements. It's not required for transfer. It is only when you're at the Cal States and say you want to get a bachelor's degree, you have to at some point before you get your degree, you have to have one U.S. history requirement and one U.S. government class. And that government class also has to cover California government as well. Okay. I'm going to share with you, just as a heads up, Chicano 7, Chicano 8, History 41, 42, and 44. These 5 classes double counts with our humanities class. And a lot of times students like to double count that. So that is an option for you. But these classes must be taken at Pierce College. If you take it at Valley or Mission or Trade Tech, it will not double count. It must be at Pierce. I just want to emphasize that. Okay. Other classes like History 11, 12, 13, they could double count in Area D. So you have that option as well. Political Science 1, 19, and 30. If you take any of these classes, so you either take Political Science 1, Political Science 19, or Political Science 30 from Pierce, it will count for US 2, it will count for US 3, and it will count for Area D. So you're kind of like triple counting right there. So I just wanted to give you the heads up on that, okay? Pretty much this is the general education breadth. I know it looks like a lot, but we just really broke it down and kind of see what classes you have to take from what categories. As you know, AP credits can count for this if you scored 3 or higher. Please see a counselor if you do have AP credits to see where it will count. Okay. As always, if you have questions GE Breath, please go ahead and message me through Canvas. You can also email me. I am here to answer and clarify any questions you may have. I know it's a little overwhelming, but as you go through it more and more often, you will be very familiar.